Good morning, Thorns fans and everyone else out there, and welcome to Thorns Live, presented by Toyota. Ann Schatz and former Thorns defensive standout Marian Dougherty, delighted to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. The 8th-seeded Portland Thorns, as you just saw, dropping a hard-fought semifinal match to Houston 1-0. It was the semifinals of the NWSL Challenge Cup. This match played on grass at Rio Tinto Stadium. Marian, this was a rare result for the Dash against the Portland Thorns, their first outright victory, the Dash, over Portland since 2016. What was the difference in this match today? No Haran and a very energized Houston club.
Yeah, I thought the game was great. There were, both sides had some opportunities. You really saw some key players shine from both teams. I thought the Thorns did an incredible job at keeping possession. And unfortunately, I think where they just need to continue investing time and working on is their attacking third. They have the personnel. I think it's just not having that time together, in a regular season to figure that creativity out and how to work together. And that comes with time. They'll get there. And I think the positive is they have the personnel. So I'm really excited to see, where they go from here.
Yeah, me too, Marian. And when you look at the big picture of this tournament, this bubble tournament, the NWSL Challenge Cup, from the Portland Thorns point of view, they began the tournament, as many clubs do, without some key players. And then the injuries start kind of piling up for the Thorns when they get to Utah. And yet, the Thorns make it to the semifinals. They use 21 different players in different rotations. They upset North Carolina. Many positives to take away from this tournament for the Thorns.
100%. I mean, one of the things that, I want to highlight is that if you look at the team's defense and midfield, despite all the losses, I would say they've been the best in the tournament. And that is something that they need to walk away with, keeping their heads high, super proud of, and something they just need to continue building off of. And I think as they get more games under their belt and more training, that final third creativity will come. So I have no doubt that, they're headed on the up. So I'm excited to see what they have in the future.
Thorns Live, presented by Toyota. Our post-game show continues, and we're delighted to bring Meghan Kling into the mix. Meghan Kling, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. You're still on the pitch, and we'll let you go in just a few. Marian and I were talking about the takeaways from this tournament, the big picture. We'd love to get a few from you in terms of what you take away back to Portland from your performance.
Yeah, I think you've seen us at our high, and now you've seen us at our low. In my opinion, no, not my opinion. Our team's goals are to be the greatest team, in the NWSL, but that takes sustained excellence, and there was no excellence today. And I'm really proud of the group because I think that we grew a lot and we got a lot done, especially with, the amount of injuries and different things that we had. But when it comes down to it, the very best teams in the world find a way to win. And it doesn't matter if you have injuries. It doesn't matter the weather. It doesn't matter if you just had a game against the best team in the league 3 days ago. You find a way. You dig deep, and you do it. And so I'm very disappointed, not in the players individually, but in the group, because I know what this group is capable of, and we didn't show what we're capable of today. But I think that's also part of the growth. Part of the growth of a team is to not only achieve their highest level, but to achieve sustained high level. And we're on a journey, and this is the beginning of that journey. So a credit to the group for showing how high the level can be, but it's just got to be better.
Marian?
Yeah. Hi, Kling. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. I think that was extremely well said, and I think, just the standard that you always hold yourself at. I wouldn't expect you to say anything less. But I just kind of wanted to get your take on, this being the first competition back in North America, kind of what this tournament meant to you as a player, but also just for this league.
It's a pretty wild time to think that there's, tens of thousands of cases of coronavirus spreading across the country, and I'm able to do what I love. It's kind of jarring, actually. I feel privileged to be in this bubble and safe and be able to play, but I also know that there are things that are bigger that are happening to people around the country, whether that's Black Lives Matter or whether that's people being greatly affected by this coronavirus pandemic. And so I feel privileged to be here because I think sport provides hope for a lot of people. It provides community.
Okay, we lost Kling. Maybe we get her back, Marian. But I'm really glad you asked her that question about the fact that this NWSL Challenge Cup is the first league play in America since COVID hit. The NWSL going out on a bit of a limb and saying, we can do this, we can handle this in Utah. It's a bubble tournament. I think the league and the teams were unbelievable in terms of following protocol and giving us great quality matches on the pitch, and we're only in the semifinals.
Absolutely. And I loved what Kling was saying, and it's unfortunate that there she is.
Kling, there you are.
I'm in and out.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Who is it? Where were we? You were talking about the fact that lots going on in this world, COVID, BLM, and yet here you are playing the game you love and grateful for it.
Yeah, certainly feeling very privileged to be able to play soccer in a safe environment. I think that we have to remember that there's bigger things going on outside of soccer right now, whether that be Black Lives Matter protesting, whether that be people greatly affected by this coronavirus pandemic. At the same time, I know how much sport provides hope and community and family to people. So in this time where people are feeling down and not able to connect, I'm glad we're able to give that sort of light in this darkness. But at the same time, always remembering that this is sport. And as much as it hurts to lose, who actually gives a because there's just so much other stuff going on. The reason that I do love sport is that we're able to shine light on things that matter. And we've done that all tournament. And so I'd like to take a second to just recognize that our team means more than sport. Our team means more than just Portland. It means hope for Black Lives Matter movement. It means that, we're always giving and trying to raise money and awareness and support for other causes like Pride and hospitals and the homeless in Portland. And so to us, sport is one thing, but with our platform, we're able to do so much more because ultimately I'm a part of the continent. We're all a part of the Maine, and any man's death diminishes me. And sorry, there's just so much going on.
I hear you.
Whenever the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. If we're gonna go with like a little Ernest Hemingway, because I think that sport is a reflection of society. Sport is a reflection of what's going on in the world. It's a microcosm of what's happening outside in our communities, whether it be pay inequality, whether we're talking about the coronavirus pandemic and who it disproportionately affects. And so us participating and using our voices is incredibly important. And I'm thankful that the organization, it allows us to use our voices in that way.
Kling, thanks for putting things in perspective. Obviously, thanks for taking your time and everything you do on the pitch and off of it for the Portland Thorns. A good solid run by your club. And as always, we love having you post-game. Come back again.
Yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry. To me, this isn't failure. This is just something to learn from. And this is something that we have to remember, how much your heart hurts, how much your body is screaming. We got to remember that because it could be a long time till our next game. But we got to put that in our hearts, and we got to get to work.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Kling, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
You know, so much up in the air, Marian. You know, tip of the cap to Houston. I mean, nobody expected them to make a run to the championship. They haven't beaten the Portland Thorns since 2016. There are some great storylines, and that they played well. And I know they're excited about advancing. And right now, we think about things that we take away from this tournament that we apply to the next match, whenever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And lots to build on, and many bodies to heal up for the Portland Thorns.
Absolutely. But I think as long as they continue to focus in on the positives, and like you said, the fact that they had so many players come off the bench or ones that aren't used to getting a normal start play as well as they did, they have an extremely deep squad and a lot of talented players that, honestly, it's going to be a bigger problem for Mark to figure out how it all comes together because he has so many talented players. So again, just focus on the positives, and you build from this, and there's so many great things that you can take away from a tournament like this.
There were a couple of chances in this match, Marian, Sink in the first half, where she was able to get into that 18, her shot sailing over the crossbar. A couple of times Weaver forcing Campbell off her line in the second half in a foot race. There just weren't enough of those chances and real quality shots on goal, correct?
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, even watching this game, if I were to compare the two teams, Houston versus Thorns, when it came to the final third of their attack, Daly and Prince, when they got the ball, their immediate first reaction is to go to goal. They're extremely ferocious. They're aggressive. Whereas with the Thorns, I just felt that was lacking a bit. And again, I know it's within the players. It's just, I think it's going to take a little time to develop. And, you have some rookies on the team, and that will come. So that was probably the biggest difference for me in just what I saw today.
Thorns Live, presented by Toyota. Waiting in the wings is Thorns head coach Mark Parsons. We'll bring him in. Mark, as always, thanks for taking the time. Before we get to the big picture of this tournament, let's just get your take on today's match, a match won by Houston 1-0 with that lone goal scored in the second half.
Yeah, first of all, big congrats to Houston. I thought they were tremendous today. Great tactical discipline from them, and they were really energetic, lively up front, but they were resolute in the back. So I think they'll probably look at that as one of their best performances. And then for us and they deserve that. That performance should be winning a semi-final. And then for us, I say this I say this for a few seconds, and then I want to focus on what has been achieved. Yeah, we weren't good enough today. Unforced errors, passes. We're not connecting passes, kicking the ball out of bounds. Probably kicked the ball out of bounds more today than we have in a season. So yeah, things just weren't on for us. And I thought halftime came at a good time because Houston had a good couple of chances, got forced into a couple of changes, and we actually grew into the second half. The second half was a better performance right up until their set piece goal. And then of course they dropped off and we had control. Yeah. So tremendous from them. And then from us, not good enough. Performance was nowhere near our level individually, collectively. But that can't take away from what has been achieved. Of course, it's going to take a couple of days, a couple of weeks to be able to really assess this. But no one's had the curveballs that we've had. No one's had the morning games, the competitive schedule. No one's lost more players and more goalkeepers. And what this group did is more than ever, brighter than ever, showed the heart and the spirit of Portland Thorns and represented us to an absolutely unbelievable level. And the reality is, you look at previous years when you win, or previous years when you fall short. The belief in our future right now is probably stronger than I've ever felt in previous years since I've been here. So to be able to have that feeling and knowing that our future is, and the shining light is brighter than ever, is a huge testament to a lot of new players, brand new young players, or even experienced players coming in. You add the two rosters up together, the people on the pitch, they crush us in NWSL minutes. And yeah, for us, if we're already doing this, then I think the future is really bright.
Thanks, Mark. I feel like we've, Ann and I have been on this journey with you, this tournament, and we've had a lot of great discussions just around some of the highs and lows, or the positives and, areas of improvement. Do you think you could maybe just kind of sum up a few of the areas of, positives that you're taking away from this tournament, and then some of the areas where you think the team can improve as you look into, next season, and where you guys kind of want to focus on working?
Yeah, the biggest positive is that we were a team-first team. We're a team that a group of individuals that put the collective first, that believed in the collective. And is that who's popular? Is that you, Ann?
Well,
yeah, I see the body language.
No, it's Ann.
My bad. Sorry, guys. Keep
so
going.
we're a group of people that put each other first. We're a group of people that sacrificed a lot, like a lot of people in the tournament. But we really invested in each other as people, really invested in this team. And the biggest positive is because of that, I think that the collective empowered and elevated individuals. And we've seen some unbelievable team performance, but individual performances. Kelly Hubley, out of nowhere, Becky goes down first game. And she stepped up and had an incredible tournament. And you could go through so many individuals, but it's not individual first. If the team elevates each other, then you get the individual performances, and we'll reflect on this and be so proud of what's happened. And then areas to improve. Yeah, I think I still think we achieved so much in so little time. So it's not a knock. How much we could squeeze more out of this group, but improvements, of course, we've seen. We were very good defensively throughout this tournament. We're massive improvement from the last 2 years, hard to beat. Our possession and the quality and the purpose of our possession much improved. Yeah, final third, gaining quality entries to the final third, not just entries. I think we had a lot of entries, but quality entries where we can then create that final pass, cross, and the finish. Yeah, the final third, we were saying all tournament. You just wanted to pause and have a couple of weeks on the training field. Despite that challenge, like every other team, obviously we've tried to keep finding ways with a lot of players that haven't been exposed to this many minutes before, who really stepped up. So yeah, I think we build off our strengths. We've set some big important foundations, final third, and then continue to grow and improve what has been important, our defensive work, and the way that obviously we didn't show this today, but the way we've been so good on the ball, so effective with the ball, better than previous years.
Mark, thanks a ton. Marian, you said it perfectly. You let us be a part of this journey. So thanks a ton for, with so much class, always coming in and talking to us regardless of result. And tip of the cap to you and your staff.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Thanks for coming on this journey with us. We're very grateful. Thanks, Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Marian, before we say goodbye, we've asked Kling and Mark for their final thoughts, if you will, of the tournament and the big picture effort by the Thorns. How about you?
I'm feeling positive today. So I only see, a positive outcome of doing the tournament. And, like Kling said, sport brings so many people together. It brings so many positives to the community. It gives us a platform to say and do things, that normally people wouldn't get the chance to do. And then just seeing people get to play the sport they love. And, it's so exciting. And I obviously love the game, and being able to sit here in my home and watch has been just a joy for me. And I'm sure it has been for the Thorns fans and for all the other fans out there. And to see these brave women step out on that pitch every single day and showcase what they're capable of, I think has just been really impactful and powerful to see and watch.
Amen, sister. Well put. Okay, big deep breath, because that's going to do it for Thorns Live presented by Toyota. Boy, we have just had an absolute blast being with all of you throughout Portland's appearance in this NWSL Challenge Cup in Utah. Got to give props to the league and the teams and what they've done to put on a great show up and through today and beyond, as the championship match will happen on Sunday. Props to the Thorns for giving us a little oasis of hope and excitement during this challenging time. Marian, thanks for providing your wonderful insights, and thanks to you, Thorns fans, for being with us every step of the way since late June. Be safe, stay healthy, and go Thorns.